Next, we are going to discuss step by step how to conduct a change impact assessment the correct way, which will help you save 10 plus hours whenever you do a change impact assessment. There are 6 steps for conducting the best change impact assessment. Step 1, you need to clearly define what is changing. Start by describing the change initiative in simple, clear language that includes what exactly is changing, who is sponsoring the change, what business outcomes is the change meant to achieve, what is the timeline for the change. Here's an example. Our company is transitioning from a legacy CRM system to Salesforce. This will change how all sales and support staff record, track, and manage customer interactions. Anyone, frontline employees, senior executives, mid level managers, anyone looking at this simple definition will clearly understand what the change is all about. And that is why step 1 of conducting a change impact assessment involves defining the change, which moves us to step 2. Step 2 involves identifying stakeholders and impacted groups. In this step, you want to create a stakeholder map and list all departments, teams, groups, or job roles that will be impacted by the change. For example, we see here in this change impact assessment template that accounting operations has been listed as an impacted department. You will also see here, if you look to the right, that the role for this particular process is changing. Currently, the accountant job role is responsible for this process, but in the future, this job process will now be transitioned to the accountant to job role. So, in doing your change impact assessment and developing your stakeholder impact map, you want to identify whenever a job role is changing for that particular process, you want to make sure you document that. So, looking at this template a little bit further, on the left, we have the departments listed. To the right of that, we have the level of impact. And then we have what is changing, the as is, and also the to be, as well as on this column here, we have the job roles, which moves us to step number 3. For step number 3, you will need to analyze key impact areas. When analyzing the key impact areas, there are 5 categories to check. 1, processes. Which workflows and processes are affected? 2, technologies and systems. Are new tools being introduced or old ones retired? 3, roles and responsibilities. Will job duties shift? 4, policies and compliance. Do regulatory or reporting requirements change? 5, culture and behavior. Are new ways of doing jobs or working or values being reinforced? Which moves us to step 4. For step 4, you want to categorize the impacts into high, medium, or low impacts. High impacts, these are major changes to job roles or job workflows. For example, sales staff needing to learn a brand new CRM. Medium impact, these are noticeable adjustments, types of changes, but manageable. For example, new reporting formats. Low impacts involve minimum disruption. For example, updated login screens. So here is a question for you. Why is this level of change impact assessment prioritization important? Why do we generally need to flag a particular change as a low impact, a medium impact, or a high impact? The answer is that this level of change impact assessment prioritization ensures that resources are directed where they are most needed. When you have a group or a department that has high impact levels, then you will need to provide a more robust level of change management support to that particular department. And that is why it is important for us to understand which departments are being impacted the most. Most importantly, this allows you and your team to reduce resistance that normally comes up when a group or a department is faced with high level of changes. You normally experience high level of resistance, which leads us to step number 5. For step number 5, you will want to document your impact assessment findings in a change impact assessment matrix. This matrix can be built in Excel, or you can use an online template, or you can also use the all-in-one OCM solution software where impacts can be tracked dynamically. If you are using an Excel template, then here on my screen is what you will want to show on your templates. Your columns may include impacted groups, type of impact, severity, mitigation strategy, and owner. By structuring your change impact assessment data this way, you and other members of the project and leadership team can gain visibility into the scope of impact ahead. And you can also structure your change impact assessment data this other way that we are looking at here on my screen to give your leadership a holistic visibility into the various change saturations and consolidated impacts. Which moves us to step number 6. Step number 6 involves developing change impact assessment mitigation plans and action items. Once the impacts are understood, you will want to create targeted change management plans. And these plans can include training programs for new systems and technologies, tailored communications to address concerns, leadership coaching, especially where resistance is high, and pilot testing in high impact areas before full rollout. To simplify your change impact assessment and to save you a lot of time, you can use our ready to go free checklist that will walk you through each step. The checklist, as you can see on my screen, is segmented by step. So within the first step of conducting an effective change impact assessment, we have 3 key activities you want to make sure you check off. Identifying stakeholders and impacted groups is step number 2. We have 3 activities you want to ensure that you are checking off your list. And then when we look at the other sections of the checklist, you can see very easily that we have provided additional information that can help you increase your success when doing a change impact. Those are the main 6 steps on how to do a change impact assessment and save hours of time doing it. So let us move on to the next change management assessment topic, which involves the key mistakes you should avoid when doing a change impact assessment.